चल ready.
Right. सही है. I'm hyped up. Her charm and her innocence is what sets her apart, what makes people love her. But for me, what does the magic is her voice. I'm an ardent admirer of how she speaks, the way she is just magic.
मैं तुझसे एक बात पूछूं, तू श्रिया को इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहा है या श्रेया घोषाल को? मेरे को लगता है तू कंफ्यूज हो गया.
No.
The first scene of the film is what we shot. We were all sitting on a breakfast table and they're making fun of me, and suddenly I said, Nishi sir, and I realized he's not there. We just decided to live in Barcelona, but after COVID and after having a baby, and I already saw how much I missed my family and how much I wanted to get back to work, we moved back to India, to Bombay.
Yeah.
And I felt like India, I really needed to come back for her to learn my language and to understand my culture. I think, yes, a lot of people said, oh, she only works in Telugu or Tamil or Malayalam, Kannada. But to be honest, I always took it as a compliment. There's always been a cultural exchange. Like, Vaida Ramanji was from Hyderabad, Eva Malini is from Chennai, Sridevi ji. Like, all of them have just gone through different industries and worked in different industries.
Yeah.
It's just the last 20 years. Before that, actresses were getting married, having kids and working. It was not a big deal. Then Kareena Kapoor Khan changed that. And then Kajol, she started working after she was married.
Yeah, and I feel like Samantha has also kind of paved a new way that people are.
I mean, she's a very
more
strong
open to
girl.
accept.
She's a beautiful girl inside out.
Her charm and her innocence is what sets her apart, what makes people love her. But for me, what does the magic is her voice. I'm an ardent admirer of how she speaks, the way she is just magic. That's the word I have for the way her voice is. And today, she is ruling the box office.
मैं
with
तुझसे एक
her
बात
lead.
पूछूं, तू श्रिया को इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहा है या श्रेया घोषाल को? मेरे को लगता है तू कंफ्यूज हो गया.
No.
क्योंकि मेरी आवाज के लिए तो कोई मुझे पसंद नहीं करता.
Those people are wrong. I'm telling you, those people are wrong. Because when I was recently watching Drishyam again, then I realized like when you came there and the way you spoke, it's what kind of gets me so excited about the film.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And so I'm sitting with Shriya Saran. So Shriya, welcome to Bollywood Bubble.
Thank you.
Firstly, I want to start by asking ki Drishyam 2 is doing such a magic. Like, you are not getting tickets, people are not getting tickets.
Yeah,
and
my mother's not getting tickets.
Yeah, so that's what we want.
My
and
didis
that's
are
what
gonna
is
sit on the
happening.
front row and watch it on Saturday.
Yeah. So how exciting?
Can you believe that?
But yeah, that is the success we want and that we are aiming for. But how does it make you feel when you see a film that has a legacy and the film that has been loved by many? The first part was okay. It came at a time when OTT was not booming, so many people had not watched the original one. They came to see. But this time, the Malayalam film, people had an access to it because it was present on OTT. But still, the Hindi film people are so excited about.
Correct.
So how does it make you feel that you are able to pull in the audience at a time when a lot of people are not?
See, I think that's the power of Drishyam, right? It's a story which is very well written. And also, if you understand, frankly, you all know what's going to happen in the film. Like, you have an idea. But how it happens is the trick, is the magic of it all. And the way Abhishek has dealt with all the characters and the kind of beautiful nuances he's added and the scenes he's written, the story he's kind of created around, and the world he's created. And of course, the actors, when they all come together, it's magic in itself. And that's very different. And that's the beauty of it. And I think it really wouldn't matter if you've seen the Malayalam film, or it really wouldn't matter, because this one is just dealt and shown very, very differently.
You have been in the industry for over 2 decades, and in this time you have done a lot of work ranging from different industries, and not just in India. You have made a name outside as well.
Yeah.
So when this kind of everything kind of a credit comes to your name, but still here people sometimes demarcate you as a actress from the South or actress who works in Malayalam or Telugu. Does it ever get disheartening?
I've said it many times, but when I started acting, The first flight I ever took was for my screen test, my first screen test, and I was just amazed as to how many. When you travel from one state to another in India, how different it is, but how similar it is. So we might have a different language, food might be different, your sense of humor will change, the fabric on which you tell a story might change. But the fact that we belong to one country, that love, that oneness remains the same. And I think that's what I feel is very, very beautiful. And I feel as when we talk about cinema, it kind of brings you together. So you kind of, and today, because of the whole pan-India thing, you can be sitting anywhere but watching a film from any part of the country and kind of understand. And it's true. When I used to do films before, people be like, "Oh, he's a superstar. We know." But they probably wouldn't have. Maybe they've seen one film of his or whatever. But today, it really doesn't matter if it's your language or not. You've seen like so many films of that actor, and you know like that song or Falana film and all of that. So it's like it's literally becoming one. So it's a great time to be part of the industry. And even before, I think yes, a lot of people said, "Oh, she only works in Telugu or Tamil or Malayalam, Kannada." But to be honest, I always took it as a compliment. And I worked really hard, learned different languages, and I tried my best to give my best. And in exchange, I got a chance to work with the most amazing directors and actors.
Also, like you have worked with majorly all the South superstars. And in Hindi also you have worked with Ajay sir, you have worked with Sanjay sir. So when you see the kind of culture that they bring, the kind of work ethics they bring, how does it kind of influence your work process, your creative process?
Yeah, it really does. I feel it really doesn't matter what language you're working and where you're working. What matters is who's the director of the film. Because the director actually creates the whole environment of the film and how the script is written and the involvement. And some films you're like laughing and having so much fun and the movie's almost over. And you're like, what? And some films are very intense and serious. But even though they're so intense and serious, like Drishyam 2 was, I was enjoying being Nandini. Every day, even when I was crying, I was enjoying the process because there was something new that I was learning about myself through Nandini. And there was more I was exploring. The more I did, the more I said my lines, the more I explored about Nandini. And that was a great experience for me. So yeah, and a lot of actors, they bring their own flavor, right? Like with Ajay sir, what happens is he's such a fabulous actor to work with. He's so talented. He speaks with his eyes. And so he's a man of few words, but when he's acting, he gives you so much to perform that becomes very easy. All you have to do is react. And that becomes so interesting as an actor for me because I have so much to perform. So he's just amazing to work like that.
And you spoke about a director of the film. Like the first film was directed by Nishikant sir, and this is kind of a tribute to him as well.
Yeah, like I feel like somewhere he's like when the film started yesterday, it was like special thanks and the tribute, and it kind of, he gave us Nandini and Vijay Salgarkar, and you remember those characters. You remember 2 and 3 October. But I think the thing is that we'll always remember him. He gave us these beautiful characters and a beautiful film. And I'm also very grateful that his shoes are actually filled by Abhishek, who's an amazing director. He's really given his best. And like every scene is written with so much intensity. And I feel like Nandini's character is like literally so beautifully etched out. She's so complex. There's so much going on inside her which she can't share with anyone. She can't like, talk to anyone about what she's going through. There'll always be that something inside her. And imagine living with a fact and a truth like that, which was a burden all your life. And she's never really smiling. There's always a pain and sadness behind. And she's a very simple girl. So yeah, he's really Abhishek has done a great job in part 2. And I remember there was the first, if you watch the film, the first scene of the film is what we shot. We were all sitting on a breakfast table and they're making fun of me, and suddenly I said, Nishi sir, and I realized he's not there. And yeah, and I think I just said a little silent prayer in my head. And wherever he is, I'm sure he's blessing us with this film.
Yeah. And one thing I really adore about you is your family. The way you put them out on social media. And you have always been kind of protective about your personal life, and you have kept it private. But when on social media you get to portray it as much as you like.
Yeah.
And however much you want to give it out. Is it a little empowering?
I think social media is a very strong tool, and it needs to be dealt like that. Like Instagram is so interesting because you can share what's going on with your life. You can be creative with it. You can express yourself. Of course, there's a lot that I like to keep for myself. Like when I was pregnant, I didn't tell anyone, and Radha was born. No one knew about it except for my friends. Yeah, for 9 months. So that was my path. That was my path that I wanted to be like that. It just naturally happened that I didn't want to share it. I don't want to share others' face as yet. There are a lot of things that I'm not comfortable sharing, which is fine. I don't read comments which are negative. I just like pass through, and I don't react to them. उनका काम है लिखना, मेरा काम है avoid करना, and I just do what I have to do.
But that is what it is. It is kind of, I feel like it's empowering that you decide what you want to put out. You decide. And the media speculations, they work on their own way. But you also got away from it when you kind of moved to Barcelona.
It was a crazy move. We moved. I was coming back from work all the time, so I hardly really lived there except for COVID. But we just decided to live in Barcelona. But after COVID and after having a baby, and I already saw how much I miss my family and how much I wanted to get back to work, we moved back to India, to Bombay.
But when you went to Barcelona, it was a big decision because even though you know you can come back for work, but when you are here, you know that you can go to meetings on a whim. Like if someone is calling you, but you have to plan it if you are there. Was it challenging? Because I won't say difficult because it was a part of your life that you wanted to focus on more. But was it a little challenging to kind of leave your work, make it a little a second priority at that time?
I didn't make my work a second priority, to be honest. But yes, I think I was just experimenting with life. I wanted to go abroad and live in a different country and learn a new language a little bit and then explore. And then I feel like when Radha was born, and I felt like how grateful I am, how lucky I've been to work in this industry, and how much I wanted it because it's come to me with so much love. Like every director I work with, every actor I work with, I've learned so much from them. No, genuinely. I feel like a lot of time I feel like it was a dream because I was so girl next door. Like literally, I've groomed and learned and lived, and it's been like my work. My sets have always been my temple place because it's so special for me. And I feel like at some point I'm like, I want Radha to see that. I want Radha to know that I'm a grateful person, that I worked hard, and that God's been very kind to me, and that I don't take it for granted. And I feel like somewhere this will help her not to take somewhere maybe for granted, because I learned hard work from my mom. She would go to school and work and come back and work, and was always working. My dad was always working. And I learned it from them. So I want her to learn that from me.
But like going to Spain, did it kind of help you explore a different side of Shriya as well?
So traveling or living in Spain was just like, let's just do it. So it wasn't much of a thought process. It was like, let's do it. I mean, that's just part of my DNA. Let's just do it. But I think after you have a child, you're like, you want to be there for her. You want her to spend time with her grandparents. You want her to have a secure life. And I felt like India, I really needed to come back for her to learn my language and to understand my culture. And
And
So
one of those trips led you to your husband.
yeah.
So that is kind
Yeah.
of one of the things that it proves that you need to go out more often
Yeah.
for others as well.
Yeah.
You might find your life partner that way.
Yeah.
But like I wanted to ask you this thing. Today we see a lot of talent interchange happening between industries. The barriers are no longer, but they are minuscule, even if they are there. Does it fill you with a sense of pride that you did it before it was actually happening?
But you know what? I don't know why we're putting it into words like that. There's always been a cultural exchange. Like, Bahida Rahmanji was from Hyderabad. Or if you look at it, a lot of actresses were coming from working. Hema Malini ji is from Chennai. Sridevi ji. Like, all of them have just gone through different industries and worked in different industries. So, Rajni sir came and did film here like years ago. Like centuries ago. So it really wasn't a big deal. Mani sir made pan-Indian film, or then Shankar sir did, then Rajmouli did, sir did. So now KGF is another example. So it's always been happening. Of course, it's about what kind of story you're trying to tell, and yeah. But before, I think the only difference why it didn't happen for a few years in the middle, it was always happening before, is because it was not viable. Because if you did a film like for a hero, if you did a film in like Hindi, he wouldn't be able to do a film for 8 months in any other language, like in Telugu, for instance. So they were missing a year. And in a hero's life, an actor's life, 1 year is like a huge time. But now it doesn't matter because you can release the film in different languages and dub it in different languages. So that has vanished. So now again, it's like it's coming back to that.
Lastly, I wanted to ask you, matlab, I heard you mention it that your ex-co-star Samantha's coming out and accepting her disorder. You said ki we should celebrate her strength and the kind of bravery she has shown. But like, do you feel that there was a time when actresses were kind of restricted by certain measures, like they could be her marital status, her parental status, and other kind
No,
of
again,
things.
it's just the last 20 years. Before that, actresses were getting married, having kids, and working. It was not a big deal. Then Kareena Kapoor Khan changed that, and then Kajol, she started working after she was married. So all these actresses have changed that. But I feel now things are back to it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I feel like Samantha has also kind of paved a new way that people are.
I mean, she's a very
more
strong
open to
girl.
accept.
She's a beautiful girl inside out, and I wish the best for Samantha. She's so talented. This is a passing phase. She'll come out stronger.
Yeah. But Shriya, it has been a pleasure getting to know
Thank
you,
you.
and I still stick with it. Your voice is magical. I'm still kind of awestruck by that, and I'm
Thank
very
you.
mesmerized by that. And it was not
Thank
Shriya
you.
Ghoshal I was introducing, it was Shriya Saran. And it has been a pleasure getting to know you a little
Thank you.
through this conversation, and a pleasure to see you on screen and off screen.
Thank you.
Wishing you lots and lots of love and love for everything you do in future.
Thank
Hope
you.
you had a good time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Shriya Saran, and you're watching me on Bollywood Bubble. Like, subscribe, and share.